Hello, my little storms, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be working on some more lore comic stuff. But in particular, we're going to be working on the cover art. And you want to know why we're working on the cover art?
Hi, Pug.
Hi, Pug. Do you want to know why we're working on the cover art today? Because Chapter 1 is almost complete. Or at least the prologue of the lore comic is almost done. And Chapter 1 is currently being worked on. So I can't show you that stuff because I honestly I don't want to show you that stuff yet. Okay? I want to at least keep you, somewhat on your toes for how the lore comic is going to start and go. I don't want to show everything, but what I will be doing instead is once some of the characters are introduced, I might be drawing some of them or like sketching them and stuff like that. So we're still gonna be having like little lore comic stuff and related to the characters and things, but we're going to mainly be focusing on everything.
I want to show everything.
I know. I know you do, George. I know you wish to show everything. You always wish to show everything, George. You just want it all out on the table, but we're not doing that. Hello, Uncle. Welcome in. But we're not gonna be doing that. Anywho, so I did say, at least on Twitter, that there was gonna be an announcement today, and it is regarding the lore comic. I have a name. I have a name for the comic. No longer shall it be referred to as the lore comic from this point onwards. It will have a name now. I have been tossing around the idea of a name, and only literally, I think, last night, literally last night, did we finally, I finally thought of a name. A fitting name, for a lot of things. The name is a little bit of a giveaway on how my 2.0 model is a giveaway. But I feel like debuting my 2.0 model will also be a giveaway for near the end of the comic. But it's like, hey, you still have to read on how exactly I got to there. So yeah, I guess the other announcement is next month I will be revealing my 2.0.
How to Kiss a Frog, the story of George.
How to Kiss a Frog, the true story of George, yeah. It was my birthday on a week, and now I get to drink disgusting alcohol. Congratulations. I'm old enough to drink, and I don't drink. But that's just because I don't like alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is gross. That's why I don't drink. I have the option to, and I don't. It's not, yeah, it honestly isn't worth the money. Unless you're getting, like, really expensive, good, like, wine, maybe. If you're getting the good stuff, I will say, though...
Yo mama's coochie so fat that Arby's asks her if she's got the meats.
What the fuck?
How's my yo mama joke?
On point. On point, George. On point today. Groundbreaking. Oh my gosh. Yeah, groundbreaking, nasty, disgusting. As always, George. As always. But anyways, so we do have some plans. The comic has a name, and it will be referred to, the lore comic will now be referred to it by its name. So, yeah. And I will say,
Dad has requested some Riz.
That's all there is I got to give you. I'm sorry. The tracking on my face is not really good today.
Try harder.
Fuck you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, a 10 stream watch streak. Damn. Congratulations, Pug. I'm gonna be honest, I like seeing those watch streaks because they're fun, but you don't have to announce them if you don't want to. Some people do. I will say this much, I never do, even if I have watched a person for like 10 streams in a row.
Mother just needs to squint harder for her tracking.
If I squint too hard, my eyes close. If I don't, the box nags me. Oh, I just ignore the box. I just ignore it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, do we wanna move over into the comic art so I can show you guys? Compulsion to push button rises. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. The compulsion to just push all the buttons is such a great compulsion. I need to play a game that's literally called Don't Press the Button. It's great. It's a great game. Actually, there's a few games that I kind of want to play. I do want to play Supermarket Simulator. I do want to play more of Sunhaven. I have like a list of games, but I don't stream very often, so it's kind of hard to like balance in the amount of games to be. Really, Jose? Really? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he did that. Dog. Yes. Wolf, wolf. Bark, bark. Arf, arf. Listen, Smash. Excuse me, sir. Are you proclaiming that you are a furry, sir? Is that what you are proclaiming by changing me into furry mode? Is that what you doth confirm? Look at him. Look at him. He confirms it. Oh my god, it's 88% a furry! See, it doth confirm that Jose is a furry. For he wishes to smash his wife as a furry. Therefore, he is a furry. Artist 1% furry. Okay, actually, alright, I'm gonna be honest right here. So speaking about other games I want to play, I do want to play a horror game called That's Not My Neighbor. It's popularized on TikTok, but I do want to move it over to like being popular on Twitch as well. Called Just That Cowgirl, Fox Girl, Dog Girl, Wife is Hot. Oh my gosh. Hey, at least he's calling me hot, so confidence boost going up, man. But I do want to play That's Not My Neighbor. And I may or may not be getting too many things from That's Not My Neighbor with the milkman. Like, y'all be thirsting for the milkman in the fucking That's Not My Neighbor community, but I can see the appeal. I see it. Damn. Stop with the Scott 4K shush. I can see the appeal, okay? And also, I will say this much. I haven't played Honkai Star Rail at all since like forever. Stop it, Jose. I haven't played Honkai Star Rail since like forever. And why is it that a sexy cowboy robot man apparently is going to get me back into playing Honkai Star Rail just to literally look at the sexy robot cowboy man? Oh my gosh. But I have no money. That's the problem. I don't have money. So I don't think I'll ever get it.
Not saying that Dad is trying to res you in DMs, but he's trying to res you in DMs.
What are you sending me, Jose? DMs where? Twitter or Discord? I feel like both. Let us see. Remember, save a horse, ride a cowboy, boy. That's what we need. That's what we need. Okay, he's rizzing me apparently in Discord DMs. What is he doing? How is he rizzing me? Oh my god, Jose! Don't worry about that. I'll do it later, honey. Listen, Iceland. Even I know not to spend it on gacha games. Exactly. I know not to spend on gacha games. I think I'm pretty good when I spend on gacha games. The only thing that I've spent a lot on is literally $40 for a skin. And that was one time. I never did it again. I never did. I was like, $40 is not fucking worth it for a skin. So, it was a good skin though. But only because the character normally looks like absolute shit. So, the skin actually made them look better. So that was the only part. I just spent $100 on magic cards I need. I know. Forget gacha. Spend it on magic cards. Those are more fulfilling. Hey, at least you can do more stuff with them. They're extended art foils for fetch lands I need. Yeah, that's true. Like, if you need it for your deck, understandable, you know? You're actually gonna use it. It actually has a function other than pretty boy looks cute. If I wanted that, I would just look at art. But honestly, Cowboy Robot Man, it does something. Jose, I need to show you the fucking thirst traps that are on my fucking TikTok feed. I think I've sent you them on TikTok. I sent you like a bunch of them along with the Milkman ones. You must understand. I was like, Jose must understand this. He must understand my plight. Oh, I saw him. Yeah, Jose. You want to be my cowboy? Because we gotta save the horse, but I could always ride a cowboy. I hope that rizzed him up enough. Cyborg Jose when? Bro, you know what, Jose? I think you would look great as a cyborg, actually. Only if you're ready to saddle up for a long ride. Oh, don't worry, I am. You know, I will say this much. I feel like a lot of people love our dynamic. I will say this much. I say a lot of things. I'm very vanilla. Jose can attest. I say a lot of shit, but I'm very vanilla. I think the nastiest thing that we've ever done is held hands. I know, so egregious. So terrible. Oh my gosh. Vanilla for now? Yeah, for now. For now. Hand holding in public? Yeah, I know. Oh, such egregious. So egregious, I know, right? Oh, imagine that. Oh, how scandalous. Gotta hand hold in public. Yeah, we hand hold and we touch grass. Yeah, I know. That's also, oh my god, so terrible. A VTuber that actually touches grass. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait a minute. I need to talk about this. This is funny. So apparently Pirate Software, who is like really amazing. Love Pirate Software. I love everything that they talk about. Sir, I am a VTuber that touches grass.
I've seen so many unholy things from their bedroom when I've tried eating extra cookies when they're asleep, only they weren't asleep and I saw whips and chains.
Those were not ours. You sure you didn't walk into another person's room, George? There's a lot of rooms here. Anyways.
They borrowed my dungeon.
George?
Jose may be a dungeon master, but Mother is a dungeon master too, apparently.
Oh my gosh. I guess I'm not gonna get any peace. You know, I like to say I'm not a LewTuber, but y'all fucking be out here saying egregious unholy shit! And then people clip my shit and they're like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, trust me, I'm not a LewTuber. I will say the worst thing that you could ever do is literally me popping in. The first thing that you get is the fucking whimper audios. that has happened, by the way. That has happened. Someone did the shout out thing and it showed up with the whimper audio. I was like, oh fuck. But the funny thing is, it was a clip that person had made from my stream. So I was like, it doesn't matter. They understand the joke.
We don't say egregious unholy shit. We just confirm the egregious unholy shit.
No, you don't! You don't confirm it! Stop it! I try to be a more calmer streamer, and y'all just like be all weird and nasty. Y'all fucking nasty! Oh my gosh. Oh, there goes. No, furry mode is up. I like the wiggly tail. But anyways, I'm here helping George with her fame. Yeah, that's true. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Pirate Software. That's what I was talking about. Pirate Software says that he has a fear of VTubers because he's like, you'll never know. They could be running Mach speed at your house, and you'd never know. And I'm like, yeah, of course. But the thing is, I don't have an iPhone to be able to track it. But that doesn't mean that it won't stop me. I can still hold my laptop and be running at Mach speed towards his house. Because I'm actually a VTuber that touches grass. You're not safe. You'll never be safe. Your days are numbered, Pirate Software! Your days are numbered! No, in all actuality, I would actually love to collab with Pirate Software. It's probably some point in the future. I do want to hit them up and literally be like, hey, collab. just be really awkward. It's just like, hey, you wanna talk to some VTubers about what your point of view is of the VTubing community? And I say that as a person that almost went into the gaming industry just like he was a part of, because he was part of the gaming industry, and he's like now since left, and he does other stuff now.
That's a lie. The only grass Nether touches is grass, abbreviation for great ass.
You mean great asset? That's what you mean, George. Yes, definitely great asset. We're just gonna do we want to coast into stream? Do we? Oh, actually, by the way,
I've seen the way you look at Dad Stumpy when he walks in front of you.
George. Sometimes Mom wants to appreciate Dad's bod. It's okay. Alright? And then Dad and I look at other people's butts because we appreciate the human figure. Okay? True partnership, looking at each other's asses. I'm just gonna go fucking leave. Bro, I say the most crazy and insane shit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be freaking honest. I'm becoming too comfortable with you all. I'm going to, you know, there's a TikTok that's literally going around of like, say the crazy shit. Sometimes people want to hear it. I'm like, no, that's the entirety of VTuber's job. It's just to say the crazy shit. It's literally like, say it. Because if we don't say the crazy shit, who else is gonna say it, you know? Because there's nobody else out here that's gonna say it, so we gotta do it, you know? That's our job. That's our job. We're entertainers. We're funny. Some of us are incredibly dumb. And some of us probably shouldn't have certain platforms, because, let's just say that there were some things that were said by another VTuber, and I was just like, what? I don't want to talk about it, because it is very dark. And I don't want to bring that in here. Anyways, without any further ado, shall we go into stream? Shall we enjoy this? Shall we enjoy this stream? I think that we should. Let's go. Let's actually go into the art.
Let's just say, the internet was on fire again.
Yes, the internet was on fire again. Actually, the internet is plenty on fire. I actually I didn't message them, but I commented on like another VTuber's stuff, because they were like talking about some things, and they were saying like how somebody that they thought was like a friend in the VTubing sphere, turns out that they were only trying to like clout chase, and they felt really bad about it, and they were like, yeah, you know, I know that there's like good things within the community, but sometimes they just
real
like...
tragedy was George didn't get a kiss.
Aw. No, don't worry, George. You'll get a kiss eventually. Don't worry. That's later on in the comic. Don't worry about it. George will get a kiss in the comic. George will have their kiss. Don't worry. It's coming. But anyways, they're saying like how they want to keep fighting, but like sometimes it's just like really hard, and I'm like, I feel that as a person that has also gone through like a person that ended up like getting really big and just started clout chasing, and so no longer I like count them as like a colleague or a friend.
Mother confirmed George eventually gets bitches.
George, yeah.
W Riz.
Yeah, with Riz. Anyways, I kind of want to move over to actually working on the comic art. I'm just gonna preface this. The comic art will look a little bit different, like how I look on, because I'm on the cover. Oh, I am on the cover, but it's gonna look a little bit different because I don't get the necklace and little hairbands until like later on in the comic, and that'll be explained for why I get them later. So just know that it is going to look a little different. It's not that I missed it. It is purposeful. It's a purposeful decision. Also, you won't really see the hair ties or my necklace until like very later on, because all these two things on my design are actually very important later on. And yeah, that's why I have them in my design now, because they're very important, but they're not important early on in the story. So yeah. Anyways, without any further ado, let's actually switch on over to let's switch on over to stream. There we go. And let me get my drawing pen out. Boop-a-doo. Got my drawing pen. Yeah-ba-ba-ba. Oh, also, by the way, just like small announcements. Literally next week, on Monday, I'm going to be debuting a new model, and we're going to begin the April charity event. It is a full month. Now, the thing is that I don't have really big things planned, though I am going to talk about with one person, because I actually might end up doing a collab. So I have to like clear it with them, but if everyone's like a-okay with me promoting the charity event during like this collab, because it's somebody else. It is somebody else's collab. I would need to clear it with them before doing anything, and to make sure that everybody else is okay with it. Because if not, then what I'm going to do is basically not stream my POV of it, because like I'll be doing the charity event. So it's like, it feels like a little disingenuous. So I need to check with them, or we'll just have like that day, I just won't be like advertising it a lot. It'll just be more advertised in the chat. Like, you know, it'll have like a timer and everything. So there's that. But we are going to be doing a charity event from April 1st until April, what does April have until April 31st? Here, let me check, because apparently I don't know. Yeah, until April 30th. We're going to be having a full month of a charity event. So, yee. We're gonna be raising money for the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, because April is Autistic Awareness Month. And we're going to be bringing awareness towards autism and to this really great and amazing charity. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing. There's some great stuff. Actually, one person even messaged me asking if they wanted to promote it. I 100% said, yes, that is okay. If you do want to promote it on your own channels, you can, but I don't want to overshadow your stuff, because at the end of the day, it is your content. It is your stuff. You do not have to promote it if you don't want to. I will thank you for it, but again, you don't have to. I'm trying to promote it the best I can. I will say, probably tomorrow I will be posting up on Twitter all of the incentives. So it'll be a nice little graphic showing all the incentives, and then also a little thing of the goals. I will not be doing a spin the wheel. The only reason is because the spin of the wheel that I had tested out kind of got a little bit hectic. So, oh, hello, I'm furry mode again. So just to kind of put that out there, just so you all know. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into doing the cover art for the comic. And I will announce, once we are done with the comic, what the title is. So if you want to know what the title is live right now, that will be done later. Oh, Chibi art drip is only for the Chibi model. So sorry. Yeah, that's why it's called Chibi art drip. So it's for the Chibi model. Here, let me see if I can, like... Oh. No. Oh.
Maidenless, mother's story.
Hey! Hey! What's that supposed to mean? I am not maidenless! But Jose does know the title. He helped me with it. Well, he didn't really help me with it. He was just sitting there in the chat while I was talking about it. But if you want to know what it is live, once we're done making the cover art, I will post it up. I will have it visible, because the title is already on here. It's already completed. So if you want to see it, that'll be at the end. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can just skip to the end.
Being a power bottom.
If you want to see if you're on YouTube and you don't want to watch the entire art process, you can technically skip to the end, but it would already be out and announced. But if you are in the chat and you want to know what the title is of the lore comic, it actually has a title. That'll be announced later on. And there is another secret announcement I'm going to announce at the end as well, which will be an update to the mascot.
50 Shades of Art.
50 Shades of Art. Hey, that's only for the Ko-Fi memberships if I draw the art for that. There's also another secret announcement that's going to be done that I didn't really announce, so I'm going to announce it live, but there is going to be an update to the mascot for the 2.0. And I say that because the 2.0 mascot that is going to be shown in my... Oh no, not the ads. I'll say it after the ads are done on Twitch, but for YouTube, I'm gonna be posting up my model reveal, and that one that the mascot that you see me with in that one is a temporary. It was always a temporary until I fully designed the final one. So I'm going to be showing the silhouette of the final one live today. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can just literally skip to the end if you want to and get all of those good, great announcements, right? But if you want to watch the entire process through of me making this art comic stuff, please do. Please sit, enjoy, like, share, comment, do whatever you want, YouTube, because helps me and helps to kind of get this story a little well known. So yeah, I know I'm saying it 30 minutes in, but yeah, if you're here 30 minutes in, cool. But yeah, that's all I have to say for the YouTube, and then eventually once these guys come back, then I'll be reiterating it again. But yeah, so right now we're working with this as a silhouette. I kind of like played around a little bit with how the composition was, but we came with this kind of composition. And yeah, I think it functions really great for what it needs to be. But the prologue is almost done. I've thumbnailed it all out. So yeah. Hello everyone. Is everyone back from ads? Are we all good? We're all great? We're all groovy? I know Jose can be like, no, yeah, totally, I've always been here, right? Right, Jose? Because you're subbed, so you don't have to worry about anything. But for those that were probably in ads, I will reiterate this again. I'm going to be showing you the silhouette of the updated mascot. So we do have a little Storms mascot. It is literally just a little chubby cloud. And that's what it was for a while. We're updating it to be more of a universal mascot. Universal. Hint, nudge, nudge. And I will be showing you the silhouette, because the 2.0 one, it will also show the mascot on there, but that one is a temporary. It was always a temporary. So this will be an actual, here's a silhouette of the mascot, and then I'll kind of show it again once it's like gonna be closer to being fully released. When my 2.0 like debut announcement will be coming is when we will finally do it. And also, I do already have a name for you guys. An updated name for you guys that will still reflect this name that I call you, which is Little Storms, but it's gonna just be changed a little bit to reflect the update. Okay, so yeah, and without any further ado, we're gonna get into kind of doing art here. So if you want to stick around and watch the art and process of this, it'll probably be very, very quick and very short, because I basically maybe did a little bit more than I should have. But yeah, the reason, by the way, that we're doing the cover art is because the prologue is basically already all sketched out. I am going to be now also working on chapter 1. Once the prologue is all finished and done with the art, I'll be moving on to chapter 1, because I want to upload the prologue and chapter 1 at the same time. Because I don't want to just give you the prologue and then not have you actually start the story, So you're going to be given basically 2 chapters. I don't know if I'll be constantly posting up 2 chapters like whenever I can. And by the way, it'll just be posted whenever I can. It's not going to have a schedule. The reason that it won't is just because I have other things that I'm doing, and it's kind of hard to like put everything into it. I wish I could do more, but I really can't. I'm one person. It's really hard for me to just kind of do everything. But my thing is maybe post up maybe once a month, or maybe like once I get into more of the rhythm of it, probably be posting like twice a month or something like that, just to kind of get really the story off the ground rolling, right? But yeah, so once I'm done with that, I would say maybe near the end of April is when it's going to be coming out. And if I'm able to work on more than just the chapter 1 and probably start even doing chapter 2s, 3, 4, and whatever, yeah, that'll probably be great. Again, I am just a one-person team, and I don't have the entirety of being able to do it all the time. But as more characters get revealed, what we might do is just kind of have like little interesting talk sessions about the characters and draw some art for the characters, for the different characters, and kind of like somewhat build a little bit of hype for it. So, and I'll be also like having a full announcement of when it will be coming out after I do chapter 1. But what we might do is start drawing the other characters that will be involved in chapter 1, just to kind of somewhat introduce to you them, and also to kind of just have some fun drawing these characters as well. Considering that one character is going to have a design update because how I had that character, I'm updating their design to fit something else. So yeah, we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be fun. That's how I plan it. And yeah. If you want to see some of the characters I have drawn, there's still like the Behind the Lore series, which was showing you all the other characters and kind of talking about them a little bit. Those designs are basically kind of finalized, like that's how those characters are. And we might do some more art and stuff of them probably. So most of the stuff of like drawing characters and stuff might be going in the Behind the Lore series than in the Lore comic series. The Lore comic series is literally just for comic stuff. Like actually creating and producing the comic, whereas like Behind the Lore is like another thing. I might combine them. I don't know. It depends on how I feel of stuff, but yeah. So anyways, without any further ado, let's actually get in here and start kind of drawing some stuff. So there are going to be some subtle design differences, and if you notice them, cool. If you don't, fine. As I said again, the hair ties and my necklace are not in this. It's because that's introduced later on in the comic, so those are not here on the cover yet. So the cover will slowly change over time. It will start to look different over time. So if you want, so I will say this much, the comic cover may change. It'll be like this for the time being, and then once it's ended, it'll change. So there will be a new comic cover at the end of the story. So yee. We love changing stuff. Because that's what I love to do, apparently. Let me remember what exactly I put this on. There it is. That was me literally looking for what I put all this stuff on. Okay. I am going to be doing some more like highlighting and shading as well, because there's more stuff I want to do with it besides just how I'm going to shade it here. I actually was thinking about bringing back a old design for how to draw this, but I decided on not doing that. And the reason being that I decided on not going back and really bringing back an old design is just because I was like, you know what, people now know me with this design a lot more in these clothes, so we're going to kind of go off of that. Do I want to pull from here? Maybe. Yeah. Let's make these the lights. Hold on. Do. There we go. We're making George into a Chad? What? No. George is already a Chad. You can't make George more of a Chad. Sad. Why are you sad? What? Oh, it's because this is behind that. That's why. Boop. Oh, did I move this over a little bit? Oh, this is because it's the wrong thing. That's why. Do 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 do. We like the Chad body and oh my gosh. No. I know that you want Chad body George, but we can't have Chad body George. Chad body George would be too powerful. All right. If we did Chad body George, I don't even want to understand the powers that George would have over all of us. They would be too powerful for anyone. I'm like trying to be able to highlight and shade all this. Do, 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 do. I will say I am like very excited to be working on the comic, but also I know that it's going to take me a lot of time to work on it, and I'll try. And I think what kind of slowed me down was literally working on it on stream. Really did slow me down a lot. So that's why I'm like thinking that it's probably best for me to not work on it on stream anymore. One, because I don't want to be showing you guys most of the other stuff that is going to be happening. And two, there are some parts of the comic that I don't think I will be able to show because it's going to be a little dark. Some of the themes and things that are going to be discussed are definitely not going to be very happy. And I know a lot of people make like the funny joke and all of that of like, oh, my model and then my lore. And I'm like, well, yeah, your lore is pretty sad, but what's gonna be happening is like it's not even my character, it's not even Art the character, it's a different character that has this. And because in the lore comic it's like, even though that yes, Art is the main character, there's also other main characters that I do highlight because it's not just Art. it is a bunch of other characters' stories that are also intermixed in it that is just very integral to a lot of things that happen. So it is important to be discussing those other characters, because how those characters act influence how art acts and how they also interact with the world, which is also important. Because when I write characters, I think of how does this character affect other characters? And like, what is it about them that affects them? Hi Pug, welcome back. So that's what I always think of. It's just like, how does this character, like, why does this character feel this way? How does this character feel? Why are they this way? And one of the characters is going to be talking about kind of some things that happened in their past and dealing a lot with that of very dark and very depressing things. All right, very depressive thinking, and I will put a warning for when that's going to be talked about in the comic, because it is not pretty. Because at the end of these days, these characters are supposed to be like living, breathing people, and they have struggles and they have strifes. They're not just like OP like anime characters. They have struggles, they have lives, and there's other things that are going on in the world other than there's just a big bad evil guy you need to defeat. They have their own personal struggles that they deal with. Even Art is going to be struggling with their own personal things that have happened to them in the past, and kind of their own, all of them have their own drives, their own wants, their own reasons to why they're here. And they all get what they want in the end, but not exactly in the way that they intended. So like, everyone gets what they want. And a want doesn't mean, so a lot of people are confused about like what wants are. A want is not a like, I want to buy this thing because I think it looks cute. A want is like, I want to accomplish a goal and I'm going to get it. And then through the writing of it, it's just like, sometimes what they want and how they get it is going to be very different. So like, they can have, so like, Art's want, and this is discussed very early on in the comic, Art's want is for her family to be safe. It's in a way, it sounds very nice, but it's actually, to her, she also feels it's very selfish, because the entire story revolves around trying to basically save the world, but she doesn't want to save the world. She just wants to save, like, protect her family. That's it. So in a way, she, you know, very people-pleasy, you know, she's like, I should be thinking about saving everybody, but the only people I can think about saving is this. And it's discussed, it's talked about, there's going to be some darker, you know, again, dark themes are going to be in this about questioning of self-worth, and a lot of other things that a lot of people usually don't talk about. It's not a pretty frill fantasy cool magic story, okay? It is a story about characters. It is a story built and based around characters. That is what I will say. And if you like stories and fantasy tales that literally are the backbone of most of the story is literally based around characters, I think that you might find this very interesting. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, as a reader, I've found that a lot of fantasy stories don't base a lot of things on the characters. It's like, either we're too caught up in the fantasy world, or, you know, we're so focused on like certain character dynamics, like certain characters, that we forget about everybody else. And it's like, well, what if I want to hear their stories? What are their stories? Why are they here? Why are they doing that thing? So we're going to be, again, not to say that Art isn't the main character, but there are other characters involved. And that's what all of these are. These are representations of all of the characters. It's not just Art. It is every single one of these people. How they all affect Art, how Art affects all of them. It is very much all together, you know? It's very much based on character connections, and that's just how I like to write. And I feel that there's not a lot of stories out there that are really good at writing it. Will I be the best? Probably not. There might be some people that say, like, my writing might be a little shit. Fair enough. Okay. Maybe it's just not for you. Understandable. So I'm just saying that my world out here is not strictly romance based. It's not strictly like, I would say it's more of fantasy, action, and adventure, but there are dark themes that do come into play. So it's not all pretty happy magical rainbows. It's more like, you know, it's like, you know how like Lord of the Rings starts out and it's like, oh, we're gonna go on a trip, and then it turns like darker and darker and more sinister with its themes. Yeah, that's kind of how we're going. I know, this is what I view. Everyone just goes, oh, Art's so cute and adorable, and then it's like, what the hell is she writing? Like, that's the kind of a writer I am. It's just like, what is wrong with you kind of situation. And yes, I have had people question me. They're like, they turn to me when I explain to them what I'm writing, and they're just like, what is wrong with you? And I'm just like, I wish to make them suffer. I wish to make my readers suffer. So if you like suffering, congratulations. And by the way, you will start suffering in the first chapter. Well, in the first so the first chapter that I was working on was basically the prologue, but that's how I'm setting it up now, is that that's the prologue. Then we're gonna start into the story, okay? So that's where we're kind of going with things. So that's my plan. And so far it's going well. That plan is going, it's sailing, it's doing its thing, you know. We're doing, it's doing the thing. So, but it's going, and it's going good, and we're gonna have fun. That's the important part. Well, I'll have fun. I don't know about you all having fun.
While we have a moment of peace, let us finish the epic battle.
Yes. While talking about the lore comic, let's finish the epic battle of the Legend of Jose.
The battle grew desperate as the powerful magic shotgun could not penetrate the dark shield, and the water attacks could barely quench the flames. As they barely kept the jerky man off balance, he was creating a sandstorm beneath his feet. He would blind everyone in the room and strike in confusion. With the blast of sand filling the room, Arakan grew truly frustrated to be forced into what she tried to leave behind, a distraction she couldn't afford as the wizard emerged before her, with a hand covered in dark magic. Honed combat instincts drove her blade into the attack arm, imagining a scorpion tail, but the desert scorpions never had a second tail for Artikan to contend with. The flashing of her life interrupted by a loud bang, Jose finally hitting the mark, tearing shoulder from body as sweet jerky smell scattered across the room. The wizard howled in pain as a fiery explosion blasted Artican away. Jose, left open to attack with a jerky man approaching. Before the hand could be raised, John had taken him from behind, trying to restrain his arm as it started to impossibly bend, its death touch reaching for John's life. Artican started moving with tears on her face. Her feet could not move fast enough, every step feeling further than the last. Something happened in Artican. A new power emerged as electricity filled her step. Her next step was like a segment of film. The head of the wizard spinning across the room with a satisfying thud, Artican crackling with lighting in her cool swordsman pose. The three carefully watched as the body and head taken away by the puppet minions. They let instincts take over as they got into a group hug, appreciating being alive. They felt embarrassed when pit stop attendant asked with haggard breath, "Is everyone okay?" The three separated and started patting off the soot, and Josie replied, "Do not worry, the wizard is slain."
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I was like, oh no, not John. No, they got John. But thankfully, no. But hey yo, I finally got my magical powers. Hooray! Texas Beat reads at a funny pace. It does. But it's a funny like red pace though.
That is all for today.
Hooray, the battle is over. We're nearing the end of the first episode of The Legend of Jose. Oh, also I was gonna say, by the way, if you like plus size main character, oh.
Don't question me, I'm a professional reader.
Exactly. I was gonna say also, there are some people that are just like, oh, we want like more plus size characters in our stories. Or it's gonna be confirmed plus size. I feel like I might actually make a lot of her particular race plus size because it actually makes sense in some cases. For how everything is gonna work. Yeah. Well, there's just like a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the writing sphere that are just like, hey, we want more plus size characters and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, there are plus size characters. It's just like there's not much within the actual literature reading, but there's a lot in the graphic novel area if you look for it. There's like a whole like a revolution happening for it. Now I'm not saying there's like a lot of them, but there are some that are coming out, so. Oh, by the way, I know that a lot of people are going to question this. My lore comic is never and shall never be on any comic website. The reason being is just because I don't think that you should be going there. I'm mainly going to be hosting it on my Ko-Fi. But I know like some people are like, oh, well, you can get like a domain and just have it put on there. The problem is you have to pay for that domain. Unless you're already getting money coming in to be able to pay for it, it's probably better to just host it on a different site that's free. And that's why a lot of people usually pick to do it on places like that. Okay, go. If the dog needs to go, you need to go. Go take care of doggo. So that's why a lot of people usually host it on like Webtoon and stuff. But the thing is, I don't want my lore comic to become popular and then Webtoon being like, hey, we want this to be like a Canvas original, because then there's going to be so much pressure for me to have, oh no, come on, ad, really? I'll reiterate this again, but for Twitch audience, because ads. Love them. But for those people that are subbed that you can hear this, but for Webtoon in particular, they force you. Never mind, roommate did it anyway. They force you to basically, they're like, hey, we want you to write this many pages. They're like, you have to publish like 75 pages. Do you want to know how far chapter 1, the prologue is? If I did that in Webtoon style, it would probably only be maybe 20. Maybe 20. They want 75. I'm not making a prologue that's 75. Why? It's a prologue. But they want like, and they want you to be publishing once a week. 75 pages once a week. I don't have a team. I don't have a bunch of people. I can't dedicate my entire time and life to this. Anyways, welcome back, anyone's. Writes 21 to 75 on a separate pages. No, that's not that's not what I meant. Pat's home pack. Yeah, no. Basically, Webtoon is just not a great site, and I'm not saying that any of the other sites are any better, but the thing is I don't want them to come in and be like, hey, we want you to be like a Webtoon original and stuff like that. And yes, Webtoon is making like actual comics turned into like graphic novels and things like that, but that's only if you're really big. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest out here, I don't want these to turn into actual physical copies. I like them being digital. Because then I will be honest, if people want to like download these pictures and actually make them into books for themselves, they can. If you want to turn these in, like, you know, these, you want to take these drawings and you want to get them and download them eventually, maybe I'll have like a downloadable file that people can print out and be able to actually have them. And if I want to, I'm just gonna like literally have it be $1 if you want it. You want it? Pay $1 and you get like the first chapter or something like that. Or maybe you get like the first few chapters or something like that. So like you could pay for like how much ever chapters you want, right? You can always pay more if you want to, because at the end of the day, like I'm still making it free and available for you guys.
I will fill the remaining page counts with George model calendar photos.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it just depends on what I kind of want to do with stuff. So I'm suggesting I might have them be downloadable pictures. But like that's basically if you want to have it, you know. I will make a way for you guys to be able to enjoy it yourself in your own ways, right? If people want to make thirst trap videos of certain characters, go right ahead. I don't care, as long as you like reference back, credit me, all that sort of fun stuff, right? I want people to have fun with these characters, right? The only thing I will say is that there are certain characters that I'm going to be a little pissy about if you ship them, because there are certain canon ships that do exist. There are some gays. There's some sapphic. Sapphic means girls. There's even a polyamorous canon ship. Okay, you guys are good. I got a lot of basically the reason that I did so many different ones was because I wanted to show that this world and this planet is vastly different to humanity and how they view relationships and stuff. So yeah, they're not human. They're not human. You cannot put human rules and regulations on them. Because they're not. They're aliens. They're alien creatures. How about disinterested representation? Yes, there is Arrow Ace. There is an Arrow Ace character. That they're in actually the group, there is an Arrow Ace character. It is this one. This one is an Arrow Ace character. This one is married. This one gets a relationship and gay. This one also kind of, I would say kind of Arrow Ace, but yeah. Arrow Ace. Arrow Ace means that you're aromantic and asexual. That's what disinterested representation is. It means that you're completely like, you don't want romance and you don't want any bed shenanigans. Sounds like a card-themed archer. Oh my god, it does. It does. Ayo, ayo. They're all the archers out here. Yeah. Oh no, I think this one's the Arrow Ace one. I'm forgetting which ones I made Arrow Ace. I think this one is the Arrow Ace one. And then these two are like platonic. Like a platonic relationship. So nothing like, basically asexual, but still having romance, but they're just platonic. And then this one is poly. They have two partners. And by the way, they are married to them. They're all married to each other. Actually, technically there's like one. It's interesting. It's like a whole poly. Like, you know, it's a whole poly. There are 3 polycule. And this particular community that they're a part of pulls out my ace arrows and starts nonsense. Oh my gosh. And this person in particular, their community, they do allow for like, you know, you can have multiple partners. So yeah, that's just a part of their culture. Yeah. It's just is. And I think the reason being is because the god that they believe in is like kind of the god of like passion and love and all of that. So that's kind of why. So like, cause that god character had multiple partners, that they were very loving to, by the way. It was like very consensual and all of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of just how they're built. And actually all of the different ways of how they interpret relations, the world, everything has to do with religion, cultural practices. I made a lot of effort into how this world, so like this world feels like an actual world that you think you can visit. And sometimes I forget that this isn't a fantasy world, and I'm just like, you know, this place sounds pretty nice. I want to go there. It's like, ah, shit. It sounds like a pretty nice place. But there are always things that are stirring in the depths, you know. So yeah. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. But yeah. Anyways, let us try and get these darker. Trying to do the darker shades here that I need, to just kind of pull the dark part. Also, we will be discussing a little bit of Art's story and past, and just know it's not as confusing as you think it is. I make it out to be way more confusing than it is. But yeah. Again, it'll be talked about, like, more as the story progresses a little bit. But just gonna have fun, you know? And again, at the end of the day, character art is vastly different than how I portray myself on stream. So just know that this character and how they act is a character. And how I write them is a little bit different than how I act. Actually, it would kind of make a little bit of sense in some aspects of stuff. With like how character art acts and then how I kind of act. It's like, oh, okay, this makes sense for why they are the way that they are. By the way, there is a mom character in this that is Art's mom, and I'm trying to base them enough off of my mother, but it's how I interpret my mother from how I look at her. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to erase that little line. That's okay. I'll fix that later. She does not have 2 moles. I just realized that. So. I almost forgot about that. Actually, let me go in here and see if I can change it. Oh, hold on. Let me just turn that off. Turn that off. There we go. Yeah, the only one that has two moles is Order. Which, by the way, I have changed a lot of stuff with the lore. So if you were following early on with how the lore was, take that and throw it away. There is so many things I have changed with a lot of the lore that if you remember how stuff was earlier on, that is completely 100% different. Like a lot of it is different now. So it's just better to like throw it away and imagine that you never saw it to begin with. Or else you will be very much confused with what the heck is going on anymore. There's some key moments that are still here, but there are some differences. So yeah. There is also a character that's going to be in this that is based off of my real life friend. Yes, I did ask them for permission. They gave me permission to use them. And they will be seen more of in like a little bit later on. Because the first part, I have it broken down into the different character stories. So the first one is going to kind of revolve a little bit about introducing the world, kind of the situations going on, and just kind of introduce you to the world and the characters a little bit more, and then slowly but surely throw you into what's happening. So it's mainly going to be focusing on Art and this character over here, this red one. And when we get over to this character, which will be literally right after this tube stuff, once we get to this character is when we will be introduced to them. And it actually does, I think, flop back and forth between the two, because then they kind of go here, and then here, and then here, and then this is the last character. So it's kind of like flip-flopped back and forth between where they go. So yeah, the positions of even how these characters are is important. I thought of everything with this cover, okay? To really just show off and highlight everything that I could think of with trying to tell the story without telling the story, you know? There's a lot of show in this, and I ain't telling you shit. I'm just telling you the characters, and showing you who they are, in a way, and that's about it. That's all you're really getting. And I will say for the prologue in particular, there's a lot of exposition, but don't really fret about it. I'm gonna try and not have as much exposition unless it is needed to describe something, because again, this is a fantasy world. There's going to be things that they're going to say, that they're going to do, that will need some explanation. And those will be like in a little thing to the side, and just have like a little like asterisk by them, and just like look under the panel, and it will just like kind of explain something about it. So I'm gonna try and keep it a little bit small and like to the side. Like, for example, there is some stuff. Sounds normal to me. Yeah. Yeah, because like the prologue is basically supposed to introduce you, right, to the story stuff. I will say this much. I feel like some people might read the prologue and then they're going to read chapter 1 and they're like, why was the prologue even given? The prologue is important. The prologue is very important. I wouldn't put it in there unless it was important. So the thing is, if you're reading something and you're like, why is this put in here? Let's just say this. There are some red herrings that are going to be in there for some stuff, just to like lead you astray with some things. But just know, I wouldn't put it in unless it was important. Even the red herrings that are going to happen are important. They're just like subtly important. So just keep that in mind, that there are things that are going to be important. Even if you think that they aren't, they probably are. And they won't have, some things might not have a huge impact. Some things might have a small impact. But yeah, again, a lot of it is based off of character, like how the characters are, how they interact with each other. So a lot of it is very much character based and driven. So some of it might be important, because even though it might not be important to the story, it is important to how the character is and how they act. And that's why I was saying, like, we're going to have a dark scene where it's going to be with this character here, the red one. There's going to be some darker themes because that affects their character. That's who they are. It is a basic information about the character that is very much important to the overall story and how they are. So just be wary of it. There'll be things. Now there's other like little small important things that are kind of like important to more of just how people see the world. Like my phrase that I always say, like, may the winds guide you until next time. Again, that's like a phrase that's going to be said a lot, and it's just a way of saying goodbye. And other cultures will have something similar in a way of saying stuff. They'll also have like their own curse words. I'm still trying to think of the curse words, okay? And how to translate them. Because basically, the entire world has their own language. So it's basically like I'm translating it into English, you know? Yeah, there's been a lot of thinking. Jose will be like, I sometimes chew his ear off about this, and he's just like, the amount of time, the amount of thought you've put into this is great, but like, should I be concerned? Should I be concerned for your well-being? And I'm just like, well, that's just how I work. I want to create a world that feels believable, that has that feels like there's characters in it. Like they're people. Like they're actual people. Like people that you could walk up to and you could talk to and meet. And I'm gonna say some things. If you do want to cosplay, make art, do any of the sort of the characters or any of the world or anything, go right ahead. I really would like to see people's interpretations of the different characters. Of course, you'll have like the art itself to literally look at and reference. So that's great. But I will say I want to see them. I think it would be cool. Have fun with it. I do have some sort of rules against shipping, though I don't want you to ship characters together. Like if they're clear, if I clearly say that they are asexual, please do not ship them with people. They are asexual. They don't want, you know, or like if they're aromantic and all of that sort of stuff, they don't want that stuff. That's canon. They just don't. It's just kind of how that is. At the end of the day, these characters are my children. And like, you know, it'd be kind of weird to see like the children shipped with like other, you know, it's just I don't mind the shipping. It's more of be respectful of how I feel about shipping, because at the end of the day, I am the creator.
Sorry, Mum, but you know that the disinterested ones are too hot not to ship.
Okay, yeah, I know. A lot of people like usually ship the non-interest, you know, the ones that are non-interested the most, and I'm just like, please. I'm a person that is asexual. You know, I would say like more along the lines of demisexuality. But please, out of respect, as a creator that is also asexual and creating characters that are asexual and aromantic, please don't ship them with other characters when they clearly say, and I clearly say, that they are not supposed to be with other people. Just because I might have them flirtation, like, you know, be flirtatious or something here and there, does not mean that they just want to be in a romantic relationship and they're just like, actually, you know, it's like, oh, well, they just need to find the right person. That's erasing us. I don't want that. Please don't do that. Also, it is confirmed that some of these characters are bisexual. Alright? One is pansexual, like, very pansexual. So, yeah. Technically, there is one that is, like, you know.
Oh yeah, I love it when I know there weren't none of this.
Yeah, it's like, please be respectful of how I actually write the characters and what I say that they are. And don't just, like, you can have your headcanons, you can have fun, but at the end of the day, if the headcanons are, like, way too extreme, I'm gonna be like, whoa. Maybe inside thoughts, okay? You can have your inside thoughts, but maybe sometimes those inside thoughts should not be talked about, because at the end of the day, like, these are my characters, and I appreciate that you really love them. I appreciate what you do with them, but please don't go too crazy. You can foam at the mouth and create all the freaking edits that you want, but please don't go too crazy, or else I'm gonna feel like, you know, I'm gonna feel a little weird about it. Okay, there are some restrictions that I feel, and again, it doesn't mean that I don't want people to create a fandom of it. It doesn't mean that I don't want people to create art. It doesn't mean that I don't want any of that. It's just that I feel like some people in the fandoms might go a little too crazy, and then it's like, hey, that isn't what I want. Like, that isn't what I want these characters to be portrayed as. Can you please stop? And then if they say like, oh, but this is how I headcanon, like, this is how I am, and it's like, thank you, I appreciate that you really love these characters and that you want to do this sort of stuff, but
don't
it's like,
mock my mighty Pugama fan fiction. I will ship all I want.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying that you can't ship or you can't do this, but it's like, please also keep in mind how the characters are written. You could have like headcanon characters or whatever. Fine. That's fine. I know that that's how people are. But it's like, please also be respectful of what the creator has to say. I will say for the most part, I try and stay out of fandom spaces as it is. So I might, but if people tag me in too many things of what they're creating, I might step further back and just just ignore you. But I will say this much. Don't tell me how to write my shit. I've seen that way too much in fandom spaces. Again, I know that this project that I'm making might not get that big. Okay? I understand that. I 100% do. But if it does, if it ends up doing well and people have like a whole big thing, please do not tell me how to write my thing. I am the writer. These are my characters. If you have a stink about the story, go and write your own stuff. Maybe go and write a fan fiction. Cool? Okay. Maybe I might read it. I'm gonna be honest, I might. I might. I might. But yeah. Again, have fun. Do what you want to do. But just know that there are some things that might turn me off from interacting with you.
I write my own fanfic, and am just a Biku bot.
Yeah, exactly. See, George writes their own fan fiction, and they're just like a little Biku bot. You know, they're just a little guy. George is just a little guy. Do.
Little god.
Yeah, little god. He's just a little god. Little tang gun. Maybe munching gun. Sorry. Yeah. It might be. I will say, I got into a little bit of a rant a little bit ago, cause there was some talks about book talk stuff. And I feel like I want to talk about book talk a little bit. Because there are some things that I think are quite troubling. But the thing is that there's an ad that is going to start, so I'll be talking about it probably afterwards, so that then even people that are in the Twitch audience can be able to hear this. Because I think it's important, especially with me creating a comic. And it's not media illiteracy. It's not that. It is some other stuff that has just been going on within book talk that I think needs to be addressed and kind of discussed. Because at the end of the day, I think it's more than just other people are the problem. I think it's also the book talk itself is also the problem. Book talk itself is the problem child. I'm not in that circle. Yeah, that's kind of why I want to talk about it a little bit, because a lot of people are not within the book talk circle. I think this needs to be discussed. I forgot to add the blush on here. I clicked the wrong thing. I'll also go over kind of what book talk is, and but it is a community on TikTok, but I will talk about like what book talk is, and kind of the purpose of book talk and why it exists. And also how like book talk has affected the publishing industry a little bit. I am not a person that's very knowledgeable about the publishing industry, but this is like my take as an outsider perspective that is a reader. Hello, is everyone back from the ads? Okay, good. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about what book talk is. From my outside perspective, kind of how it came into being, how I have seen how book talk is, what book talk is now, and also a little bit about how I view what's happening in the publishing world, though I am not a person that does publishing, so there might be other people that may be able to speak on it a little bit better than me. But what I have noticed as a reader, and that is a woman, and that likes fantasy, and that likes romance, and other genres as well, because I do like mysteries every once in a while. I could get a really good thriller if I really wanted to, but I like mostly fantasy, adventures, and romance stories. And by the way, yes, there is going to be romance in this. Just so you all know. I will say very much, there will not be anything of explicit things. The explicit stuff I don't really want to draw, and it's not really that important, so they're not going to be put in. If you want to see them, maybe I'll have them for Ko-Fi memberships only, where it's like, if it has like a little star or something like that, it means that the scene is continuing, but it's just like only for the Ko-Fi membership, so you have to see it all in Ko-Fi or whatever. But it doesn't really affect the story. It's not important. It is not integral to the story that there is a scene here. So what book talk is book talk is a, I would say for the most part, is a community of readers that wish to review, discuss, recommend, and talk about books. That is what it is. That's what book talk is. Book talk is a community of readers, of authors. Even authors are in book talk, and they just discuss, show, and talk about books, even recommending books of different genres, and highlighting new books that are coming out. Like indie authors have been really utilizing book talk to be able to talk about them. Sounds stuck up to me. What do you mean? It's not really stuck up. It's just a community of talking about reading. That's literally it. Honestly, it's a great place to encourage reading and discuss books for a bunch of different things. But the thing is, if you go on to TikTok, because it's mainly on TikTok, that's why it's called book talk. The thing is, as a person looking, that's not extremely part of the book talk community. I am a reader. I'm just not in the community. As a person that's looking from outside in, when you actually look up Book Talk, there's a reason that a lot of people say that Book Talk is only for, basically for, I critique critics. Yes. You can. I mean, you can do that. There's plenty of people that you can probably have that, stuff with. But, Book Talk, in a way, when you look it up on your own, is literally the first few things that you see is spicy book recommendations. Now, what spicy books are is books that have some explicit scenes between characters, kind of like 50 Shades of Grey. And it can range to almost about 50 Shades of Grey being like a 5 to very small, intimate stuff like a 1. You know, very small, very like left to your imagination. The shrieking stuff, yeah. So, books like Akatar are like at a 5. Akatar is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Actually, we're going to be discussing that for Book Talk. But the thing is that looking from the outside in, when you look at Book Talk, most of the most popular videos are talking about spicy books. So a lot of Book Talk community has been starting to talk about the discussion of like, oh, well, it's not just those books. And I'm like, yeah, but those are the most popular.
Puck said Shrek.
Oh, the Shrekking. Oh, the Shrekking stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, true. But those are the most popular videos. Those are the ones that get the most likes, the most views, the most saves, the most added to favorites, the most shares. Those are the ones that get the most popularity. In turn, those are mainly the books that people outside of Book Talk mainly see when they search up Book Talk. So I personally think it is a community problem, moreover than it is a outsider's perspective problem. Because somebody was saying...
Let's face it, most people are perverts like George.
True. I will say this much. It has affected books and what gets published. Because I've started to notice that most of the books that are published are only for people that really like the popular stuff on Book Talk, which is the spicier stuff. And I'm not a person that really likes spicier things. I enjoy it here and there, but I don't want it to be half the fucking book. And that's what's ending up happening within publishing, is I feel like a lot of the fantasy romance that I want to read is nothing but just spicy books and no real substance or plot otherwise. And I want to have more interesting stories. Like, I even want the spicy scenes to be integral or important or have some sort of merit other than, well, they're just having a spicy moment now. Like,
that's my fault. Sorry, Mum.
Yeah, I know, right, George? Like, how could you do this to me? But I feel like for the most part, like, you end up with that kind of situation when it comes to Book Talk. And again, and most of the people that are having these critiques about, like, we should get rid of Book Talk, we should, you know, all the books that Book Talk is recommending are spicy books, like, all these, and it's mostly guys that are having these takes, but I feel them. I do, as a person that doesn't want to read that. Like, honestly. I was recommended Sword of Truth under the guise of a magic sword turns people into meat confetti. Sword of Truth has spicy scenes in it. See? Yeah, I know that Sword of Truth has spicy scenes in it. But that's the problem. Is like, I want to read a fantasy book. And it's like, I feel like if I ask, hey, can I get a fantasy romance? People are going to recommend Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, or any other of Sarah J. Maas's work. One, I don't want to read her because I think that she's a terrible person, and also because, like, the plot is so derailed, I swear it was written... Oh. Yeah, yeah. I would say I wanted to know more about Richard's pet. Yeah, it's like, I feel like it just derails, you know? It really does derail itself because it's so focused on the romance and the spice that I'm just like, if I wanted to read a spice book, I would go and just get, like, the indie authors that are publishing only spice books. That literally the entire plot is just the spice. Okay? If I wanted to read it, there's plenty of other things. I don't want it in my fantasy books. Hi, puppers. Not to say that there can't be, right?
I want a story to mock this, where the villain wins cause the heroes were too busy smexing.
Oh my gosh, that'd be actually a really funny comedic one. Actually, there is a really funny one, but I don't think that you would like it because there is the underlying super spicy tension between, like, the main character and the villain. So I wouldn't recommend it because I know how you are. But if you want it, I would say Assistant to the Villain is really good. But because of the underlying stuff of that, honestly, that kind of turned me off.
The villain takes away all the junk.
Please. I need to see this in writing, Pug. We need to see it. We need to see it. We need to see this writing. Gotta get some water. But, like, you know, again, people can read what they want to read, but I feel like it's beginning to affect the romance and fantasy genre too much. Yeah, it's like, it's too much, okay? Because now all the fantasy and romance things that are coming out, like, I'm gonna be honest, other than Brandon Sanderson, is like 75% spicy and 15% plot. I'm sorry, I don't want to read ACOTAR. Okay? I just don't like that kind of writing. I don't want that.
If everyone is smexed, how will I catch a unicorn?
Exactly, George. But, like, I want, like, more classicer fantasy, you know? I don't know what a classicer fantasy is, but, like, I just want more fantasy where the main plot doesn't also revolve around the main female character getting freaking, like, a whole bunch of people surrounded by them and, like, basically ending up that the romance is more important than the fucking plot of the entirety of this book. Because I'm literally watching through a book essay of the entire plot of ACOTAR, and I'm just like, wow, this story sounds so much better if there wasn't the spicy scenes in it. I'm not even shitting you. If the spicy scenes were not in there, would have been a better book. 100% honest in my opinion. In my opinion, would have been a better book. So it's just, I know some people have different tastes, but what's happening is that I can't find books I want to read. Because the thing is that the publishers are looking in at Book Talk, and all they see in Book Talk, the top things are the spicy books. Those are the ones that are the most popular in Book Talk, unfortunately. Not all of these other amazing genres and stories and tales that everybody else is like looking at and reviewing, which, by the way, I do see you guys. I do see you guys out there. I see you guys, the mystery, the thriller, the sci-fi. I see you guys. But like, look at Book Talk. Like, literally analyze it. The most popular things are that of the spicier genre. And specifically, fantasy romance. And especially high fantasy romance. And because of that, the publishing industry is now only looking for that. And guess what ends up happening? You start cutting people out of reading. That is what's happening. Guys feel like they can't find any books to read because they are not the target audience. And the thing is, there should be high fantasy romances that anybody can read, or like that, you know, can be directed towards guys. You might be like, well, they already have a bunch of stuff. It's time for women to have what they want. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there aren't a lot of them. Like, it's disproportionate, right? Because men are now being told that the only books, like, once they get into adulthood to read is literally just like the business section and well, you know,
weekend books for everyone.
Exactly, like the business section or like the historical section. Like, men are taught to, like, these are the books that you now read. And it's like, what if they want to read fantasy romance? What if they want to read sci-fi and all of that sort of stuff? Like, what if they want to read other different fiction writings? But then it's like, what, again, if they're interested in fantasy romance, they might not be interested in reading the spicy bits, you know? So it's like, it feels like you're pushing them out. And that's what it also feels like. Book Talk literally continuously attacks, like, guys that have these points of views. And it's like, think for a minute. They're not being mean to you. They just feel like they can't find any books that are just as good as the books that you guys read. That's all they want. They just want good books that you guys, that we all have, right? They just want good books. And unfortunately, most of the good books that people recommend is not what people want. Like, literally, one person literally said, I want a fantasy book. People recommended them ACOTAR, and then they came back and they said, who the hell recommended me ACOTAR? I don't want this. This isn't what I wanted. I said I wanted a fantasy romance, a fantasy story, not a fantasy romance. And I'm just like, yeah. And that's coming from a person that loves fantasy romance. But all I see in fantasy romance, literally when going into the bookstore, I have to look up on whether or not it has spicy scenes in it. And if it has, like, and I have to, like, read through a bunch of reviews of people just to know what's in the book before I spend $20 to buy it. Because, by the way, books nowadays are $20, okay? I don't want to buy a book and then not like it. It might be like, oh, well, you can just buy it and then just, like, you know, DNF it, which means, like, drops the book, you know, they don't read it.
You've heard of Final Fantasy, now we present to you, Fantasy. Nope.
Fantasy, nope. Yeah. And again, you can read whatever you want, right? But I feel like it's creating too much of a change in the fantasy genre because it's now affecting YA books. Okay? YA, by the way, I'm not saying that there should be, like, restrictions on what people read, but it's just like, going into the YA section, there is no difference in what is being published. Like, when I was reading books in YA, like, there were not, like, you know, they did not have spicy scenes. They had, like, up to your imagination, right? Which was fine, right? Or, like, hand holding and kissing. And that was pretty much about it. And maybe make out scenes. And that was pretty much it. But now there's spicy scenes that are in YA romance. And it's like now kids, like these kids, have to look up whether or not this book is for them. Because some people, again, based on their rereading preferences, don't want to read spicy scenes. YA is young adult fiction. Young adult is between the ages of 12 to 18. Or sometimes 14 to 18 as well. And then there's adult, and there's like a new section coming out which is called new adult, which is like whatever. So yeah, and then before that you have kids. So you have kids, young adult, and adult. There's basically like teenagers. Young adult is basically teenagers. And I will say, once some guys, like, you know, for boys, like, they have like a plethora of stuff to read when they're kids. Then they get into like young adult, and there's not a whole lot for them to read. So that's why a lot of them just drop reading altogether when they become to young adult, because there's not a lot out there for them. And again, it's affecting a lot of things. And I don't think a lot of readers understand that, because at the end of the day, they're getting the books that they want because publishers are looking at book talk. So they're just like, well, we're getting the books that we want. And it's like, that's not the problem. The problem is that you're getting the books you want, but nobody else is. No one else is getting the books that they want. Because it's a lot of reading is based off of subjectiveness, right? And there are certain books that I want to read that, you know, I can only probably find through indie authors, which great. I want to support indie authors and indie publishing, but it feels like the only books that are out there that I can watch. Twitch is crackling the rules again. Oh my gosh. But I feel like the only books that I can read that I'm interested in is oh my I'm not surprised that they did that. But the other thing is, people weren't doing it with the green screen on there. People were doing it with like their hair and stuff. It was funny. At least with VTubers, like, we can be like a little bit crazier. Like, we could do it with our hair. We could do it with our eyes. We could do it with our mouth. Mouth might be a little bit too much, but we could do it with other parts of our bodies, which is funny. Yeah, I just feel like in book talk in particular, and how publishing is like, it just feels like traditional publishing, I cannot find a whole lot, whereas indie publishing is where it is at. I feel like there's way more interesting things that are my pace that I want to do within there. My third eye would be funny. Yeah, I know, right? Just really zoom in. Yeah, exactly. You can have a lot of fun. Again, you just gotta have fun. But like, again, I feel like most of this stuff is like in... I think most of it is like in other things. Sorry, I'm like, lol, windshield washer eyes. What? Windshield washer eyes? There we go. The color thing, the shades. Right, the color thing that shades it made a little stick. Oh. Okay. I don't know what that means. Anyways, let me just save this. I think for the most part, we're kind of done. I just want to like do something. We're gonna see how it works. Just to make it a little bit I'm like testing. Testing. Gotta test stuff. There you go. Okay, bye. Yeah, I think this will be fine. No, this. There we go. Hi, peppers. And then I kind of want to do a thing behind. What did I do is behind. There's a few different things I can do. I'm just like trying to see what I can do. I think I'll do something else. Oh, ad breaks. Ad breaks. Just wanna see. I'll go with that. And do multiply. There we go. Just to kind of separate her. Just gotta separate art a little bit. Because, like, this is without. With. Yeah. That just makes her pop out a little bit from the background. There we go. Alright. I think we are done. Which means it's reveal time, everybody. I'll wait until the ad is over. I did a lot of talking today. My voice starting now hurts because I did so much talking. All right, everybody. Today it is the moment. It is the moment. It is time for the main announcement. You know what? Let me switch back to my main character. My main thing. Is it this button? Or is it this button? This button? Aha. But which character is this? Oh, this is my old model, I think. Hold on. Is it? I can't tell. Oh, here we can. Okay, no, this is my current model. Alright. So this is a big announcement. What? Oh shit. What is the lore comics name, right? This is what you've all been waiting for. Like, you've been waiting 2 hours for this. So without any further ado, I am here to announce that the lore comics official name is I might change that to be a little bit brighter. It is Art of Chaos. Hold on, let me. There you go. That's a lot easier to see. Art of Chaos is the name. It's the title. It's here. It's official. It has a name. For literally 2 years, it has not had a name, which is actually good, because then that makes it a lot easier to like think about a name later on. Art of Chaos. That is the name. So I hope you all like it. That is the name. That's the title. That's what we're going with. So no longer is it called lore comic. It is now the comic Art of Chaos. So yeah. Again, by the way, you can actually look at the entirety of this thing, of this cover. It tells you everything without giving away anything. As you progress more through reading the story, more and more of this cover will begin to make sense. Even the title will slowly but surely begin to make sense. Now, there is within the prologue itself kind of a hint to the end of it, but you gotta get there. How does that end up happening? I personally like stories where they kind of like tell you a little bit of how the ending is gonna be, but they don't really tell you. So you're gonna have to figure that out on your own. And that's how I build my stuff. Like, for example, what are all these other colors? What do they mean? Who are they? What's all this stuff? So that is that. It is done. It is finished. We have 2 years in the making, folks, and it's finally being done. Yeah, there's I'm so happy. I'm really happy. I'm actually excited. I'm really excited. Again, if you want to support me and support me further and make sure that this comic goes further, you can always support me on Ko-Fi for it. Eventually later down the line, there might be things that I might do. Again, I can't spend the entire time on this. My entire job does not revolve around me making this comic. This is just a fun little extra project I'm doing on the side. It's only me. I don't have a lot of people to do it with, so if you want to keep this comic going and keep all my other stuff, like, definitely check out the Ko-Fi. I'm gonna shameless plug. Also, if you, I would say maybe later down the line, I might create some merch for it, and that'll probably be up on my merch store. But for right now, it's just only art and art things, so if you want to go and kind of, like, do that. But eventually, probably later down the line, I might create some other little cute things for it as well. But yeah, so that is Art of Chaos. It's coming soon. It's coming soon, guys. Like, literally, it probably would be coming out next month. I say next month. I don't want to give a date because I need to start working on the next chapter. I need to finish what I already have, and then I need to start working on the next chapter, right? Thankfully, I already basically have the thumbnails out for most of the other chapters. Like, they're just like sketch thumbnails, so I already have most of that stuff together. And I just have to put it all together and then start doing the art for it. So, yeah. But without any further ado, I think that's pretty much it. Oh! The other little sneaky thing I wanted to show you guys of the new updated mascot that's going to be coming out. I need to turn off my stream, or not turn off the stream. I need to turn off Clip Studio from being captured because when I open this, it will not be in silhouette form. So let me get this out. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do this on both of these. So, without any further ado, let me just... I haven't even put these in silhouette. I probably should have done this beforehand. And then do this perhaps? What? Oh, this is not for here. This. There we go. Alright, now I can turn this back on. Ta-da! This is the new updated silhouette of what the little storms are going to eventually evolve into. It is really cute. It is really adorable. I'm still kind of working on the face a little bit. I might change up the face a little bit. But other than that, the shape is correct. Yeah, you got little horns, and now you got like a little tail, and a little fire on it. So yeah. The little fire is important, by the way. Again, a lot of things that I design has a lot to do with lore and its importance. So everything I create, I like to put a little bit of a meaning behind it. So there is a reason. There is a reason. There's a reason to a lot of things that I do, okay? But yeah. But hey, we got the lore comic done. At least the cover is done. And actually, let me make sure to sign this. I may have this possibly be a digital download, or eventually later down the line may make a sort of thing for, I guess, people. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, but I'll do something. Just know something's gonna get done. But anyways, let me... Ooh, what the heck? No. There you go. But yeah, so there we go, everyone. It is completed. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm excited for the comic to actually come out to where you guys can read it. And yeah, it's great. I will say one thing that the comic is teaching me, better understanding of facial features, or not facial features, but how to express certain things. Because you basically have a illustration and that's all you got. And yeah, and also we got the updated little storms that will be coming out for the 2.0 later down the line. This is still temporary. We're still trying to figure it all out. But the shape is correct. It's just like I need to fix the face, cause I started thinking about it more. I'm like, ooh, that thing's a little creepy. I want to make him cute, not too creepy. I want to make him creepy, but not like too creepy, you know? So anyways, let me actually export this out as a JPEG for you all. Oh wait, hold on, let me cancel that, because I'm going to create a thing and literally make this kind of like a watermark over the entire thing. But not that it ruins the entire stuff, because I still want you guys to be able to see it. But I will say it probably will be announced during the charity event. Just so you guys all know that. So yes, this will be put up and announced. Along with it probably finally getting posted up on the Ko-Fi as well. So there will be a link to where exactly it will be in the Ko-Fi. And actually I'm gonna do this and make another one for the Ko-Fi to export out from. There we go. All right. There we go. We are all done. So without any further ado, let me just switch over to just chatting. We'll chat a little bit and then we'll think of who to raid, okay? So let us go over there. There we go. But yeah, so lots of things planned to be done. Speaking about the charity event happening in April, there aren't really big things. We're just gonna be just streaming regularly, but it will be under the charity event, meaning like we're just gonna be doing a full month of raising funds. And yeah, that's basically the thing. Hold on a minute. I just needed to switch over to my other screen, which I have not been like over on this other screen for a long while. So let me actually get up. Oh my god, Jose. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I want to kind of see who it is exactly that we can raid. There are a few people that are always streaming, so we will see. I want to try and raid some newer people, so that's what my thing is. We're gonna see. Okay, they're streaming Honkai Star Rail. The one reason to why I usually don't stream a lot of newer people is because, one, I want to make sure that these people are actually good. I don't know why, it's how I am. But yeah. Let me see. I'm always trying to find somebody that's doing art as well. But I can't. I don't know. I can't tell on whether or not they're streaming art or not. It's hard to know. Let me see. I'm like literally trying to see. Alright. I don't think that there's anybody I can see. Other than people that are already here. You know what? Let's like look through art channels. Maybe we'll find somebody. I know, it's always like kind of a struggle to really find somebody that you want to kind of like raid or anything like that. Because you know, you never know like who you're gonna, I guess, walk in on, you know? So in my personal purview, when trying to raid somebody, it is a little difficult to find new people to raid because one, you don't know how they are, you don't know who they are too, and so you have to be like a little careful in my personal purview because you don't, you know, I want my community to be going into a place that looks, you know, that seems pretty cool and that seems pretty nice. You know, if I vibe with them, then like I think that you guys would vibe with them, you know? But again, so it's always difficult to find people to raid, especially when there's like so many streamers, right? And I feel like browsing through is also sometimes great, but also sometimes not great at the same time. Because you're just like, again, you don't know what you're walking in on, right? And that's why it's like, it's easier to find people and just kind of like raid them instead. And so then you kind of just like find the right people at the right time. I know someone's being salty playing League of Legends over there. I see you. There's someone you know who it is? It's fucking Rufus. It's do we want to raid the salty stream? Or do we want to raid the salty stream with salt eatings? With eating salt? That'd actually be pretty funny. That'd be perfect, actually. when you have like a stream like ready, and when you have like an emote ready for a particular raid, just to raid them with the salt. You know, maybe we might raid him with the salt. That'd be hilarious. That'd be funny. Just imagine that, just coming in with salt. Just salt. Salty raid. Maybe we might. That'd be pretty funny. Just salty raid. Salty raid. That'd actually be pretty hilarious. You know what? Now I've talked about it too much. Now I have to raid him. Now Rufus, I'm sorry, you're getting raided. Oh, you're playing with the gang too. Oh, well, yes, we must raid now. All right, we're doing salty raid. Here, let me get it up. Salty raid. And then I'll just do one without the emote, and then we'll do one with the emote. Oh, for some reason it is not doing that. For some reason. It ain't spacing it out. Alright. Alright. We'll do salty raid, and then we'll do one with the emote. Where's my emote? Where's my salt emote? Now give my enemy a salt emote. For those that have subscribed, this is what we're doing. So the first one is just for those that aren't subbed, and the second one is for those that are. Because now, I've said it too much now, and now we must raid him with a salt emote. So, that's how it goes. That's how it is. He's playing a salty game. He set himself up for this. He set himself up way too much for this. I will say I will be looking into probably seeing who newer people that we can raid. Because I do want to raid more people, like a variety of different people, right? But I need to vibe with you first, and if I vibe with you, then yeah, you're probably gonna get got. Anyways, without any further ado, let me get this raid started as I discuss things. Just so you guys know, commissions are slowly gonna be closing. They've already kind of begun to be closed. All illustration stuff will be on a wait list. Surprise Me's, on the other hand, maybe, I don't know. I just kind of really want to focus on doing my comic right now. So that's why I kind of have them on wait lists, so you can be kind of put on the wait list, and then when I reopen them, the people that came in during the wait list will be the first ones to be done. Anywho, the other thing is merch available. I have merch. Help support me. Help you guys get some rockin' art merch. And then, last but not the least, we are doing in April an entire charity event for the entire month, where we are just going to be raising money for the ASEN, which is Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, because April is Autism Awareness Month. So we're going to be spreading awareness about autism and also spreading awareness with this amazing, awesome charity. So, yeah. And without any further ado, as I always say, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for being here. I hope that you enjoyed these small little announcements that we had. And without any further ado, as I always say, may the winds guide you. Until next time. Goodbye, everyone.